A coachable moment for the travel industry is what this is being called. Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name is Jay. First of all, I know it's been a while, about 2 weeks since I've done some true cruise news. I wanted to give it a break, but we are back and we are going to be in full swing. So we have an issue that recently took place with the brand new game changer cruise line Virgin Voyages. Now, I gotta admit, this topic is a little touchy and I've had at least one experience that was somewhat bad with Virgin Voyages. So instead of somebody saying it's going to be biased or whatnot, I'm gonna let the real news take care of this story and then we'll talk about the details after.
A shocking start to a dream vacation for a Vancouver man this week. He was escorted off the cruise ship, told it was unsafe for him to travel solo as a blind person.
I almost wondered at first if it was some sort of joke that somebody was putting me up to a prank, but I learned soon on in that this is very serious.
Donovan Tildesley is a swimmer who was the flag bearer for Canada at the 2008 Paralympics. He was just into his second drink on a 6-day Virgin Caribbean cruise Sunday when he was told the ship didn't have adequate supports for him, so he was escorted back to a Miami hotel. But late last night, he got a call from the cruise line saying there'd been a miscommunication and he would have his cruise paid for, be flown to Honduras to join the ship, and given an upgrade and a credit for a future cruise.
This is also presents a real coachable moment for people in the travel industry and for cruise ships in general. You know, just because somebody can't see doesn't mean that they aren't a competent traveler and can travel by themselves.
Tildesley says he has traveled the world solo and even skied double black diamond runs without any problems.
A coachable moment indeed. So when it comes to this story, as unfortunate as it is, I am going to break this down and look at it from both a passenger perspective as well as a crew member that has worked with Virgin. I want to look at it from that perspective as well. So I'm not going to sound like a broken record. So you heard everything that went down. This gentleman went and booked with his agent a cruise on board the Scarlet Lady cruise ship. And well, he was at the bar, the piano bar specifically, on his second drink when he was kind of kicked off of the ship, escorted off, however you want to look at it, because unfortunately he was solo and a blind traveler. Now, Virgin says they have fully accessible ships, which means if anybody is handicapped in any kind of way, well, they can still accommodate them no matter what. Virgin is also touted to be a very progressive cruise line, meaning whatever walk of life you come from, they can also still accommodate you and give you the vacation of a lifetime. And part of me does fully agree that that is true when it comes to Virgin Voyages. However, just because something is true, that doesn't mean it's going to actually work in real life. On paper, it sounds nice, but actually putting stuff like this into action, well, it is going to take more action in order to make it work properly. So this gentleman, Donovan Tildesley, he's saying that he contacted his travel agent. His travel agent contacted Virgin Voyages to let them know that there was a solo blind traveler that was fully capable of handling himself after traveling literally all over the world. He wouldn't need any assistance or anything of that nature. However, it does appear that Virgin may have potentially dropped the ball on this as far as making sure this passenger was approved to sail on board and accommodated. Either that or it just didn't go through the correct chain of command and, well, he wasn't accommodated properly enough to be able to stay on the ship before it set sail, which does suck. Now, Virgin did contact Donovan to try to make things right. They said that they would then fly him to Honduras, where the Scarlet Lady was, and also give him a credit for a free cruise. However, there is going to be the argument, is that enough? But I would also like to point out that it should have never gotten to that point in the first place. It's situations like this that you have to be extra cautious as a business to make sure you kind of look out for. Because let's face reality, it is kind of like a bad look for Virgin. It's bad for PR. Some of it may not have been their fault. And when I say that, I mean that it could have been told by one person and one person didn't tell somebody else. And just like that, the dominoes fall down the chain of command and, well, there could have just been potentially some miscommunication. But the fact that the man was on the ship and then had to have been kicked off of the ship, well, it just doesn't look good at all. Now, looking at this from a passenger perspective, Virgin Voyages is not for everyone. Is it very different, and does it provide a different set of experience and entertainment on board their ships? Yes. Can they bring the kid out of you regardless of your age? Yes, absolutely. I've said with Virgin 4 times now. I've also worked for them. Virgin, in my opinion, is without a doubt one of the best cruise lines out there as far as bang for your buck. However, there are a lot of people, because I do a lot of interviews on board, I talk to obviously hundreds of people when I'm on board. I'm a talker, if you guys can't tell. A lot of people tell me they were kind of caught off guard whenever they get on board the ship, because they say one thing and then another thing kind of happens. People hear the term adult only cruise line, and really I would say the only thing that kind of matches up to the general idea of what adult only is the never sleep alone, the adult sex show that is on board, and everything else is kind of like, well, I've talked about this before, so I won't get too deep into it. Now, if we're talking about a crew member perspective, I would say that's a whole nother can of worms. Sorry, I'm in this rocking chair here and I'm having too much fun. But anyway, when it comes to being a crew member, I want to say that I got lucky to be hired by Virgin in the first place. And I wouldn't say lucky in the sense that I was just happy to be there. I knew I had the talent, I knew I had the skill, but the reality is I didn't exactly fit in. If you guys have never been on a Virgin ship, they are very diverse. You will find all walks of life there, all types of preferences and pronouns, and I want to be clear, there's nothing wrong with that. However, in doing that, typically when you're trying to be so diverse, you get to a point where you be a little biased as far as the type of people that are in. A lot of people that say they're open-minded, however, it's only open-minded to a certain thing. And well, I personally didn't fit in. There's a couple other people that I was there with that didn't exactly fit in with the situation. But in saying this, I'm just saying that there is no company that is going to get it right, even when they are trying or trying to claim that they are very open and diverse. It just does not exist. They can have the slogans, they can have the terms, they can have the meetings all they want, but I believe that you have to be able to talk the talk and walk the walk, as they say. Anyway, the main takeaway and the lesson that should be learned here, the coachable moment, is that you have to be prepared for these kind of things. If you are saying you're going to be diverse and all-inclusive and you're going to be fully accessible regardless of your disabilities or something that you may have that is hindering you from being able to do what literally everybody else is able to do, and you should accommodate them to the best of your ability to make sure they can still do what everybody wants to do, if that makes sense. That was a lot. But what I'm saying is, just an example, back when I worked for the Harlem Globetrotters, I was a stage manager, and it was my job to introduce celebrities and a lot of disabled people, whether it was some type of illness that they had. Some people were blind, some people had walking disabilities. I had to do basically like a meet and greet, and I had to be prepared for those people to come. So whenever I got to the arenas, whether it was Madison Square Garden or the Jazz Arena or the Miami Heat Arena, I had to go scope out the entire arena, walk all of it, and figure out what was the best way, the best solution to get all of these people, regardless of their disabilities, over to the meet and greet points in order to meet the 7-foot-tall basketball players. It became a little hectic sometimes, but at the end of the day, the company and myself, we all knew that we had to figure out a way to get it done and make sure we are aware these people are coming. That way we don't have issues like, unfortunately, Virgin experienced with Donovan Tildesley. Now, just to be clear, this is not a bash at Virgin in any way, shape, or form. This is indeed, as Donovan Tildesley said, a coachable moment for the entire cruise ship industry and the travel sector. If they say that they are accommodating, and let's say in Virgin's case they have fully accessible ships, then, well, they should be able to adhere to that. And when it comes to the situation that I believe should have never happened in the first place, you got to be more proactive, you got to be more aware, because even if you correct it after the fact, it's still going to look bad. Because, I mean, that's like I want to say the way that they try to make up for every situation. Something happens and it's bad enough, you try to handle it as far as getting them on the ship, and then you give them a free cruise. Some people can argue that is not enough, they should do more. This man should get unlimited drinks, he should be able to get the VIP package, upgrade his room, all that other good stuff. I think that would be somewhat justified. However, I just think that they should have been proactive in making sure that something like that was avoided in the first place. But that's all I got for today's video, guys. We're gonna go ahead and ease back into this quickly and carefully with the cruise news. I appreciate all of you. Let me know your thoughts on this story in the comment section below. Hit that like button on your way out. Check out Touring Plans Travel Agency if you want to book a cruise, and just know that I love and appreciate every single one of you. I'll see you later. Take it easy.